Hi everyone, so my name is Vanessa and my topic of this presentation is Geneva Center for Autism. This is known as somewhere where it helps the children, youth, and adults with autism learn new skills and make them feel more comfortable and included in the community that they live in. So the mission of Geneva Center for Autism is that they can raise funds that are necessary for them to get children, youth, and adults with autism be more successful in the community and be able to be included in different ways. They get donations, they get contributions, they get monthly gifts, and all of that doesn't just come from the parents or people who are in the center. It also comes from just the community and people who want to see a difference. These are all investments that go into helping and building more for the individual of the future who are going to be in this. We're going to be in this program. So who are they, you may ask? The center is responsible for the development of resources, programs, and as well as services that are used for it in other organizations throughout the world. They are the ones who provide learning new skills for children, youth, and adults. But it's not just about the individual with ASD, it's also about the family member and the skills that they can learn and use them in their everyday life when the kids are at home with them. And this isn't whether just anywhere in the province, it's also in Toronto itself. So the focus of the center is that they make sure that the needs of the individual with ASD are met. They have essential skills for early years development, and in there they get to learn new skills. They are making sure that they're using evidence-based practices with a BCBA, so a board-certified behavior analyst is involved. They work on development and maintenance of their functional skills and prepare the children for those skills that they will benefit from. So some of the events that happen are skill building workshops. You have your Behavior 101 workshop. You have your eating strategies workshop, and then you have your toileting strategy workshop. It may not be suitable for your adult children, but for your young children who are 2 years, 3 years, maybe, if they need it, those eating and toileting strategies will really, really help you because, of course, you're looking at food selectivity, food refusal, probably still wearing a pull-up if they need to because they wet their bed. You're looking at those will help you with these. So a little bit about the history of Geneva Center for Autism is that it actually started off as a residential camp and it went for 3.5 weeks. So there wasn't as many children involved in this as there are now. There's only 20 children with autism who lived in Toronto could go. The residential camp became an excellent program that would take place during the summer for the next 3 years. So it went from 1974 to 1977. The reason it was named Geneva was because of the conference that was held in Geneva, Switzerland. This kind of conference was an international one, and it was all based on autism. So in 1977, the 3 years had gone by, the government was able to see how well the camp was doing. So they gave some money to do a follow-up program, and that actually ended up having people from the center who worked there go to houses and work with the children who were at the camp. This kind of follow-up would only happen once a month. And then in 1983, even though during the summer, there was the camp, and then you had the workers go and visit the children at their house for once a month. But the parents were realizing that that wasn't really working for the rest of the year. The children were still struggling. So what had happened is that they weren't getting the support that they needed for the rest of the year compared to what was going on during the summer and what was going on during those visits that they had once a month. So in 1984, everything changed throughout that entire year. And it became no more of a residential camp, but it turned it into a full service agency and a resource center. And right now it actually doesn't even use, So then in 1991, they created a training institute so that people in the community could become be more aware and be more educated on ASD. The reason for this is to have the community fully understand the support and the accommodations that have or had to be made. Now, going into today, the Geneva Center actually serves over 3,000 families in Toronto. It's not just 20 children that live there. It's 3,000 families that we're looking at right now. Making sure that children, youth, and adults are getting the services that they need. They're using the new evidence-based practices. They're making sure that BCBA is there. And they make up events and parties and see how committed these children are and how included they want to be. They provide research and training through everything that they do. They also have an International Autism Symposium, and that happens every year. And in this case, it's a 3-day conference where researchers and people who know more become the teachers in all of this, and they discuss the latest news and the findings that they have in ASD. The Training Institute can be found online, and it's called Sonderly. And this actually provides a high quality to over 90 countries. I'm pretty sure it was in 94 countries now. It helps with teachers who need strategies in their classroom when it comes to having a child that may have ASD. So what we're looking at is all the programs that this center has, and they have a range. They offer a range of programs for different age groups. You have your 2 to 12, you have which are your children. You have your youth that are 13 to 17. You have your adults who are 18 and up. And it's not even just for the people who are in the program or in the center. They have parent education and training. They have consultations that they can do. It's amazing how much they have put effort into this to make it happen. So there are a lot of different programs a child goes through, but it's not just for the child, but for the parents as well. The parents can see what the child's working on, take little surveys of what they like and dislike. So that would be your intake. That's your intake, where the parents go online and do intake forms. And it's free of charge. There's nothing that costs money for this. Then your parent support groups are also free. And this is where the parents can ask any questions if they have any. And it's a really good way to get connected on what's going on with their child in the program. There's social workers that come in, and those they offer their content and their strategies that they have used and their best practices. that they have and what the parents can do in that situation for when they're at home and they're dealing with a situation that has just happened. That's not at the center. There's an IBI program where it's one-on-one with the child and they focus on self-regulation, their independence, their communication, and as well as their school readiness. Like, is this child ready to go to school? We gotta think, right? The next is a youth, age 13 to 17. And they also have the intake in the parent support groups, but they also have evening and weekend respite, as well as Peers Adolescent. And the Peers Adolescent is actually a program that costs about $500. And because of COVID, everything is being done online for this. Like how we are with our schooling and having to videotape our stuff. This kind of program helps keep meaningful relationships. You're having discussions, you're problem solving, and having those different social interactions with other peers. This program helps plan get-togethers. You're handling peer rejection and gossip, the use of humor, their conversational skills, as well as when it comes to choosing appropriate friends. And then you have your adult age group, which is 18 and up. And some of the groups that they have here, they have a peer young adult group. They have a person-directed planning without implementation. They have a community options program, an adult social club, and then they have 2 bursaries that they can use. Those 2 bursaries are actually used to help adults who may not be able to get into the program, get them in, basically. And that adult social club is about $75, and what it does is that it actually brings the adults with autism together, and they go onto tours like virtual museums, aquariums. They have different kind of nights like trivia night or a movie night, and then they also have their dance parties that they have so that they can socialize and have fun and be grown-ups. And then there's the community options program. And the community options program ranges in pricing for sure, because it goes from $500 to $2,800. And the reason for that is that there's 3 different sessions that you can pick. The $500 one is you have a month and you have 3 to 4 1-hour sessions in just that 1 month. Then you have your 3-month session, which is $1,400, but you still get those 3 to 4 1-hour sessions in those 3 months. And then you have the $2,800 one, which is 6 months. And again, you have the 3 to 4 1-hour session per month. And then it goes to the different kind of consultations that they use. And those consultations are brief behavior consultation, you have a focused behavior, and then you have your complex behavior. Well, the brief consultation is a little bit you put your money's worth in it. You have a 4 consecutive week consultation. So this kind of consultation goes through weekly sessions. You have a behavior consultant going through those sessions with you. And there's a safety plan that goes with it. You're including an environmental assessment and recommendations, parent education, workshops and training, and you're also looking at individualized strategies as well as resources. Your next one is a focused behavior consultation, and with that one, it goes in a little deeper, but it's a little pricier. and that one is a $2,400, but it's a longer program. It's an 8 consecutive week. And the service objective of this consultation is that parents and caregivers get help to develop strategies and create and teach new skills. There's also challenges and minor behaviors that can get addressed in this consultation. The different things that are included of this are weekly sessions with a behavior consultant, developing a safety plan, a functional behavior assessment, and lastly, there is a BIP or behavior intervention plan made with strategies tailored to the individualized goals. And then your last consultation is a complex behavior. And this one looks to be about $3,500, but it's a 12 consecutive week program. The service objective is that the parents and caregivers do the same thing as the 2 consultations and develop strategies. There's one thing different, and that is that behaviors are addressed towards complex or hard to manage behavior. There are some elements that are included from other consultations, but this one also uses a mediator model. And it's for parents who are coaching and using strategies to implement. And then this is the parent and parent training and education. And there's 3 different kinds of, I guess you could say, programs for them as well. One of them is a parent support group. So those are in all 3 of the age groups, which are free, and the parents just talk and sort things out and have questions, ask them, and everything like that. Then you have the recorded workshops, which are all online, free of charge. And then you have your crisis management for caregivers. And this kind of training is for parents to help them when it comes to behaviors that may happen at home and how to manage it, really. The parents and caregivers are going to participate in small interactive group sessions, which will be held by a CPI APS instructor. So that's a crisis prevention intervention, advanced physical skills instructor. There's going to be theories, discussion-based problem solving, and there's going to be tools that are given to the parents to help them support any behaviors, which, if they're challenging ones, that are happening at home. And then lastly, there are a few sponsors involved in this center, and these are just 4 of them. There's more than this, but there's BMO, so Bank of Montreal. There's Rexall Foundation. You have TARBA, which is Toronto Area Road Builders Association, and you also have ELS for Autism. And that's everything.